right into the work session. Mr. Stacy, we're not doing students of the month, we're gonna do that next month. And our student representatives are also gonna do next month. Public comment tonight? Okay. Review of committee business, first up at the athletic committee, Mr. Wallstrom.
Are we just reading through and are we just voting the first time through?
No, we're gonna do a work session, then we'll do a regular session.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, number one, consideration to approve Solomon Dubler varsity wrestling and Jane Kitco varsity boys basketball as athletic volunteers. They both have their paperwork in, so we don't need the rest of that. And number two, we are not opening any fall sports positions, so we can skip that one.
Okay. Any questions or comments in athletics? Okay, moving on to personnel committee. Mr. Creed.
Number one, consideration to approve the revision of the title of the job description for Special Education Administrative Assistant to Special Education Secretary. Number two, consideration to approve Daniel Hudak Jr. as the 2022-23 substitute teacher list. Number three, consideration to approve daily rate increase for substitute teachers for continuous days worked in the same position at $150 for days 30 to 59. And $175 for days 60 to 89. And number four, consideration to approve Courtney Bullinger to fill our part-time food service assistant vacancy. That is all.
Okay, questions, comments in athletics? I'm sorry, personnel. Okay, nothing in personnel. Moving into building and grounds, Mr. Metzer.
Consideration to approve the boys elementary basketball Sean Wagner High School gym locker room and concession stand from 1/7/23 to 2/18/23.
I'm sorry, we can't hear that. Could one of you read it so we could hear it?
Athletic director, Justin Jangles Dance Studio to Justin Rooney High School auditorium on 5/13/23 for a dance recital with practices held when available.
All right, just some of the people in the community couldn't hear the first part, so I'll reiterate. It was a consideration to approve the Glendale boys elementary basketball under Sean Wagner to use the high school gym locker rooms and concession stand from January 7th, 2023 to February 28th, 2023 for games with all gym use scheduled through the athletic director. Did you hear the second part then? Okay.
I did, yes.
No problem. Okay, and questions, comments on that? Do I hear a second? No, we don't need a second yet. I'm still in reorganizational mode. Pardon me. All right, thank you, sir. Discipline and curriculum.
So we're looking for
Oh,
consideration.
I'm sorry.
Consideration to approve the following field trip requests. Rebecca Rhodes and Dina Worthington to take 34 students to Lincoln Caverns and Whisper Caves on May 19th, 2023 at no district cost. Additional chaperones, Allison Gates, Nicole Pickard, and 8 approved volunteers. Number two, consideration to approve the addition of board policy number 008, organization structure attachment, Glendale School District organizational chart pending review and approval of school solicitor. Number three, consideration to approve a training request for Central Intermediate Unit 10 for safety care initial training with a cost of $1,200 plus additional costs of $15 per participant. Number four, consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding with Community Action Partnership of Cambria County Early Childhood Programs for coordination of mutually beneficial services. And that is all.
I have a question. I'm not sure about number two, what the board policy is. Like, I must have missed that.
There actually is no board policy, no 008.
Yeah.
So it's just an attachment, it's in your packet. It's just an organizational chart from school board down to teachers.
Alright, yeah, alright. I did look over that. My fault.
A lot of bigger districts have these in place due to the size of the districts. Different assistant superintendents take care of different parts of the district. We're small enough that we can pretty much fit on one page. But we had, just to get everything more concrete across the board, especially since we've added a full-time school psychologist as well.
Any questions on the organizational chart?
No, I just wasn't, I missed it.
That's
I,
not a problem. Anybody else, questions or comments? Okay, none being heard. I do have, a thank you note that was received. You have it? No, I have it right here. The Glendale School District Board and Administration, with sincere gratitude and appreciation, thank you so much for remembering Coach and sending flowers. John, Dave, and Bill Lloyd and families. So, we're all miss Coach. We all have a lot of fond memories of that man. Served the district for a long time. That's all I have for that. Administrative report?
Yeah, I'll make this pretty quick. Just to let staffing, we've talked about in the past, nothing's changed. We'll talk a little more about adding executive or extracurricular activities. They're underway. Athletics started this past weekend. They were off to a great start. Both basketball teams won on Friday, and the wrestling team in a tournament had 3 champs. Mr. Williams is a freshman in heavyweight. If you haven't seen the final heavyweight match, it's a great match. Mr. Dubler and then George Campbell, both champions in the ICC tournament at Facebook. We have our high school concert coming up on Thursday at 7 o'clock, an elementary concert coming up next Thursday at 1 o'clock. Buildings and grounds, just an update. I know Steve, I'm turn it over to him in about 30 seconds about the construction update. But through our sale of our weight and cardio room, old equipment, we've raised over $800 that we're gonna utilize for the weight room as it stands. We also have extra money that was budgeted through ESSER 3s that we might continue to do some upgrades in speaking with Mr. Wolstrom. The equipment was delivered last week, although it was delivered right at dismissal time. Elementary dismissal time, we got it in pretty quick actually, quicker than I expected. We do have some energy upgrade discussions coming up, scheduled for next Tuesday. There'll be a committee meeting. Anybody would like to attend, I know Mr. Gates and Mr. Menser will be here. We have 3 companies coming in to do presentations. 2 of the companies have done a lot of work in the local area to offer us suggestions on upgrading our energy usage here in the district. So we're utilizing it more cost efficiently. We'll have reports after we meet with them. We'll have reports to share with the board in January. You want to add anything, Ken? Or Rick? Sorry. Policy review, those are similar. We just talked about the organization chart, that is consideration. Everything else is still in review. We talked about ESSERs last month, the social media, curriculum, professional development, and that's all I have. But I want to turn it over to Steve real quick. Steve, do you want to talk about the construction update, please?
Yes, since last month when we were here, they said their whole construction, we know they set the unit there up on the roof. Everything's been plumbed in below ceiling there, so nothing will freeze up. So they did a good job of that. Nothing's leaking. Everything's good there. Johnson Controls, they finish up our medicines program, hooking in all the new stuff for that. You're getting ready here for, they're saying around the 19th, the technicians should be here for the startup of that new unit to make sure everything goes as planned. You know, anything could happen here, he'll be here on site to help that. In the week of Christmas, they're planning on the demo, and that's what I asked you guys before, maybe if we could talk to them. And I know I talked to Rick Hall today and say maybe give it a few weeks to make sure that unit works properly before we would just demo everything and just cut ties with them in case something bad would happen, we lose heat. The casework up here in the rooms, just go over just a little bit of each room here. We're still having a little bit of trouble, we're not, they are, I guess, of getting material. Still here and there. 220, we're still waiting for some countertops in there. A sink, there's a teacher's demonstrating table in there that it's on wheels and can move around. It still needs the fronts on it. 204 has lower cabinets still missing. We're still waiting on those yet. Some drawers, everything. The reveals on the drawers are still high and low. Hinges need fixed up, things like that. 203 cabinets still need installed.
There's some faucets in there, sink and stuff in there still needs done. And 207, on all the plumbing, there's like kick plates. A lot of little stuff like that needs put in, some lock sets. Some keys aren't matching up quite right, so they're working on that. The electricians, they're waiting, of course, for the casework to be done so they can get the lights and that finished in the cabinetry. And so the plumbers, just minor hookups there. Buildings here in our building, ourselves here for maintenance. We talked about the controls here last month. We did find some older controls. I mean, Eric was looking around quite a bit here. I know Charlie had told us where there was some. We did find some. We sent pictures back to Johnson Control if they could be used to save some money. They're still saying they were outdated. Possibly could use them, but there might be problems in the future, kind of what we're having now. So we're kind of waiting for them to give us a couple more quotes and a couple other things before we bring that to you guys next month, for sure, with all that planning on the controls. Over Christmas break here, the guys in the bathroom downstairs here, the girls' bathroom, there's going to be a bidet being installed for one of the skill students. So that's going to go in. That'll involve, we're going to have to put a tank toilet in and then replumb that in there because the toilet we have now, the bidet won't fit that. The STEM classroom, just over Christmas break, that's going to be painted. Down the sewage plant down there, we found some bigger countertops that can be put in for Mrs. Rice to use. Things like that will help her out. Kitchen area here, just getting some prices on a new refrigerator door. That's pretty much what's been going on in the building.
Just so we know, we do have a construction meeting on Thursday. We are substantially complete with everything. All the teachers are back in their classrooms. Just a lot of little odds and ends that we have to take care of.
Is there something we need to do about this heating situation beforehand, before that gets out of?
Well, that's what the
Like,
controllers.
Yeah, is there something we need to do about the heating so one gets shut off before, or one gets turned on before the other one gets shut off, or?
Well, he's gonna come in on Thursday. We also have another fella coming here from Johnson's. He's gonna show us how everything's gonna work when it is up and running, and kind of go over that new system, because the new system won't knit together with the old.
So is there something we need to do though in between? Like, do we need to vote on you guys spending money to hook something up in the new system before the old system is out? Like, so the heat is still remaining working?
Not until we get total prices on those controls yet. We haven't got total everything.
We couldn't vote on tonight anyways.
Well,
If there is something for January, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if we need to have an emergency meeting, if they're gonna be putting some new stuff in and ripping other stuff out beforehand.
If we determine there
If
is
we need
something
to,
that's
or we
needed.
could retroactively approve stuff, but get it in the emergency.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering when that's all gonna take, you don't know when that's all gonna take
They're
place.
saying the week of Christmas.
Of Christmas?
Yes, it'd be the 25th through the 30th.
So if you want to shut down, anyway.
Yes, but no one will be here, so.
I want to be cautious of spending a lot of money. I know we have to spend some money to keep our students warm. Obviously, that's a given. But with our energy upgrades, if we're going to look into doing that over the next year, that energy upgrade can also look at revamping their whole system. So they're going to talk, the companies that come in are going to talk about those processes. The controller system, yeah, everything.
That's all
Yeah, I think we
LED
have to
lighting
do
and all
that.
that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that at some point.
Yeah.
Do the whole new system, because it's just gonna be every year's a.
Oh yeah, the company my old man worked for, like they say $50,000 a month, redoing high pressure sodium into LED lights.
That's the three
I know you can
companies,
save
that's their
money
big,
on that, but it's
that's
small.
their big thing, yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be that much, but
Okay, stuff adds up, so.
yeah.
And lastly, Danielle from nutrition is here. I was not aware she was gonna be here until today. So thank you for coming in. Danielle, do you have any report?
I do not have anything to report at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else have anything for the good of the order for the work session before we adjourn into the regular monthly meeting? So, work session's over, regular monthly board meeting is in order. I have announcements. There was an executive session held on November 22nd, 2022 for personnel issues, labor negotiation discussion, and student issues. There's also an executive session held December 5th, 2022 for athletic personnel issues. I would like to get a, motion to approve the November 22nd, 2022 work session and regular monthly meeting. Do I hear such a motion? Motion, second? Second by Mr. Wallstrom. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Public comment? Any public comment? Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Committee reports, Mr. Wallstrom.
I make a motion to approve item number 1 as previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Here a second. Second by Mr. Gallagher. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Personnel committee, 3.
Motion to approve items 1 through 4 as previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Second? Second by Kate. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Building and grounds, Mr. Menzer.
Yes, motion to approve all items A and B.
Discussion, questions? Second? Second by Theo. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Discipline and curriculum.
Motion to approve 1A, 2, 3, and 4 is previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Second? Second by Mr. Gates. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Anything else for the good of the order before we ask for an adjournment? We are gonna have a brief executive session then to discuss contractual issues. So, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Rostrom, all in favor, aye? Or, second by Jeff, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Thank you all.